Hello, today I'm gonna verbally say my final assignment and I'm gonna read each question and answer them. There's six and it contains three sections. So, section one, the mirror. Question one: what have I learned about myself in this experience? So, when I started this experience, I really didn't think I would learn as much as I did, like at the end of the experience. So one of the things, and maybe the one that most stands out, is that I learned how blessed I am. Even though I already knew that I was very blessed, seeing the way we have internet access, we have computer access, it makes me think how we have a very big opportunity and we are blessed to be born in the family we are. We are blessed to have the parents that we have because of the stories they told us about the kids and the problems they had at home, how we are blessed that we are safe, we're okay, that our family is okay, and how in reality what we stress about is nothing compared to what they stress about. I also learned that I have more potential than I thought I did. This can be shown by the way that we taught me and Lalo as a group. We were together. We taught a grown man how to use a computer when he didn't even know at the first day how to turn on the computer. But at the end of the course, he was researching things online by his own. He was creating like mock tests by his own without Lalo's and I's help. And I think that's kind of amazing in a way how we have the capacity to impact someone, how we have the capacity to make someone know something when they're older than us, and in a way it was supposed to be the other way, but we did something for them. And the second question is, what values, opinions, and beliefs have changed? So a lot of values have changed. I value more what I have, what I own, what I'm gonna have. I'm gonna value it more because I know that there's people that don't have it. My beliefs, my beliefs didn't change as much because I know that everyone has an equal opportunity, even though that maybe their economic status can challenge it. We all have the opportunity to do whatever we desire because with the hope that we're gonna create something, we're gonna reach it. We're gonna do our best to achieve that goal. So we always have to have a goal in mind. The third question is, it says, how has the experience challenged me? So this experience really challenged me by the way that I needed to make a model of what I was gonna teach the next day, and even though maybe that model will not apply to him because maybe it's too difficult or too easy, we have to make different things. Maybe one thing is easy and then it goes easier to harder, and in that way he's gonna understand better. He's gonna go in a pattern. The fourth question is, how will this experience change the way I act or think in the future? So, mainly the thing, as I said before, is that I'm very blessed with the things I have. I'm blessed to have a computer of my own, to be able to donate computers. And I think it can change the way I think or act by the way I can donate things that I don't have, like starting with little things like clothes that I do already, but like donate more things like toys and Christmas to boys that like people to need it. Go to places that they actually need more than I already actually need things when I already have them and I have even more things. Did I have more or less understanding or empathy than I did before this project? I think I really had, even though we taught the teachers, even with the teachers, we saw how they were grown people and they missed out of a lot of opportunities when they were little due to their economic status. The teacher that we taught was very into baseball, and that made me think of the way that even though I don't like baseball, sorry, I have the opportunity to learn baseball. That I'm sorry, and I think that it makes me really look at things in another perspective on how we have a lot of things and maybe we don't appreciate this. And lastly, because of my action project, I'm a better person, not in a way that maybe I'm nicer or maybe I am more organized, but in a way that I feel better about myself. I feel better because I knew I had the potential to teach a grown man, and also because I saw the effects of what it made that person do after he already knew how to use a computer. So section two, the microscope. So I'm gonna answer the six questions. What happened? Describe your experience. So my experience is that me and a group of people went to a um, school located in Santa Catarina. We went there because we saw the opportunity to make a difference, because we saw that they needed new technology put it put into the school because they didn't have that. And we did a lot of research of how using the computer really benefits the audience and the person that would like to be taught, because a lot of them are visual learners. So in that way, we could help them a lot. And we went there 3 times, I think, because the teachers couldn't, like, one time. So in those times, we had to teach them basic things like how to do a test, how to. We started off by teaching them how to turn on and off the computer, because maybe they didn't even have a sense of how to do that. If you could do this project again, what would you different? What would you do differently? Think that my attitude at the beginning would have been different. This is because at the beginning I didn't feel that it was gonna work. I felt that we were gonna fail because of the computers, or maybe my teammates were gonna let me down. I was gonna let them down. So I think my attitude would have changed a lot, because seeing the final results, I can guarantee you that the teachers that we taught know a lot more than what I thought they were gonna learn. The third question is, what more needs to be done? So right now we are trying to donate the computer, so maybe that has to be done. It's very hard to get computers. Not a lot of people have extra computers that they can donate. So that's one thing that we can do. Also, we can also integrate the kids in the school and teach them little things about the computer for them to also know and have the knowledge about how to use a computer. Does my experience complement or contrast what I'm learning in class? How? I think it complements due to the fact that maybe one of us is gonna end up helping the community, and it's gonna find its element in the community. And I can see this with my dad. My dad really likes my. I think he thought I was talking to me. Oh no, okay. My dad really finds his element when he's doing community service. He loves doing community service, and it all started because someone helped him when he was little. So maybe that's gonna help us in the future. It's gonna not maybe not me, but another person in the classroom. What have I learned about the peers that I worked with? I have learned that it's very difficult to work with people that don't wanna be part of it. Maybe even myself including. And it's very easy if you get along, if you make jokes in the way, but also if you're shouting at each other, it won't solve anything. What I learned about the community is that we are Mexico as a whole is less educated than I thought. At the beginning, the first time we went, when we hadn't even formed our groups, they told us that many didn't finish primary school. Primary school. And I would never think that my kids or my grandkids or my brother isn't gonna finish primary school. I think it's something basic, but for them, it's something so challenging, maybe because they don't have the money for it. And I think that Mexico should really lower its even more the prices of the public schools, because with the way they're putting it, many don't afford it, and many don't have the chance to have a basic education of primary school, something that everyone should have. Talk about it in my Talk about any disappointments or success on your project. What did you learn from it? One of the disappointments is that we haven't gathered the computers, and I guarantee you that we will gather the 10 computers, even though it's going to be a kind of challenging. We do want to donate the 10 computers. So that's a disappointment that at the end of the 6 weeks we don't have them yet. Even though we tried and we contact people, we still don't have any. And one success is that, as I said before, the teachers now have a more understanding of how to use the computer, how to turn on, turn off, do a mock exam, and what I said before, they really feel more independent when they're with the computer. They're happier every time we saw the teacher like googling something. He had a smile on his face because he knew he could do it by himself. So finally, the third section is binoculars. And the first question is, from your experience, are you able to identify any underlying or overachieving issues that influence the problem? So one of the issues is that Mexico's government doesn't have enough money to give technology to teachers. They didn't even have internet until we told them that we need an internet. They didn't believe that we were gonna give them that computer, and even it's very weird how they don't know how to use a computer when they're teachers, and how the world is changing and technology is being implanted into people, and seeing them so pure, like it was very good to see someone that, like, not good but in a way weird and different, to see someone that doesn't know how to use a computer when I do it automatically. I'm sorry. What could be done to change this? What could have been done to change this solution? So we could really bet more on education, invest a lot more in education, Mexico's education, because they're gonna be the future. Even if they don't come from private schools, they're still the future. So I think we should invest more into education. How will this realization change my future behaviors, decisions? How will this realization change my future behaviors, decisions, or career? So my future behaviors can be by the way I act upon community, how I put more into my home, and by home I don't mean like my house, I mean like Mexico. So I think that it can be by the way I act in society, by the way I corrupt, how I can help. I will plan to do more community things. Right now I'm going to Techo, but maybe in the next semester I can be more involved in the CSL, and this can also help me with my hours, but also it can help me with myself and by the way I feel by helping others. How can others in my community address and impact this issue at larger levels, politically or society? So the way that they can impact the issue of, I think those questions were supposed to be switched, but so I think that the way that my peers and others in the community can use this issue as an advantage, and the way they can be impacted by is that when they grow up, if they see if they're like in a position where they can help others, help them. Also, if they are related to education, or if they're wanting to see education in Mexico grow, they can help it by the way they can invest more money, or maybe not even that, to help them out by the way we did, creating little projects in public private schools. What does the future hold? So the future holds for me more community things. I really like the way it felt when we saw the smile in the teacher's face. So I think that by my part, I'm gonna be more active in my community service. I even talked to my dad, and he told me about painting the streets. So maybe if that's gonna help the community, I would love to paint the streets. I really wanna act like little by little, put put more of myself into the community. What can be done? a lot of things can be done if we have the mind of it. If we want for things to be done, it will be done. We can increase the education by the way we act more textbooks or change the textbooks if the textbooks are not teaching them enough. Have special programs for the ones that don't know how to read and write because it will separate them from the classroom and teach them personally, or not even personally, like resource with a group of people. And this will help them understand better their problem or help them have more focus on what they're doing. So I think that this project really helped me understand the way I see myself in the community and how I want to be in the community in the future.